Hi everybody, and welcome to Budgeting 101. Before we get much further, make sure that you have the notes organizer open because you're going to be filling that out while the video moves along. So it's the Budgeting 101 and Budgeting Strategies Notes Organizer. By the time we're done with this first video, you will be able to describe the purpose of a budget. Why do people do it? Why do people have budgets? You'll understand the differences between wants and needs, and you'll be able to explain the difference between gross pay and net pay. So let's start with defining a budget. What is it? The easiest definition is a spending plan based on your income and your expenses. Now, what's the purpose of it? Well, a budget, like it said, is a plan that is going to help you make sure you do not run out of money before you run out of days in the month. Okay, so you're going to plan in advance how you're going to spend your money so you don't run out. And a budget also helps you save money, and that can be for specific goals you have for the future, like to take a vacation or to buy a new car, but also to save for emergencies, which are, of course, completely unpredictable, but they happen. Everybody has them, so you need to be ready. Budgeting is important because, number one, it really helps you learn to live within your means. And what that means is you are spending less than you're making, okay? So many people in America use debt, and that means they are spending more than they're making. So they're having to borrow money, and that cannot be sustained over the long haul. That's a really hard way to live. So the budget's going to help us live within our means. It will also help us achieve particular financial goals that we have, which is also really exciting. So we can make plans for the future. It'll also, we'll get a good feel for how we're spending our money, what money we're saving. It'll help us plan for the future. It can also help us if we're in debt. It can help us get out of debt or stay out of debt. And again, it can really help you make your dreams a reality. You're going to set money aside so that you can do the things that you want to do. Okay, so if we're going to do a budget, we do need to understand the differences between wants and needs. So take a look at these lists. The wants are things that would be nice to have, but they're not required. Okay, so designer clothes, eating out, expensive jewelry, fancy sports cars, yeah, all that stuff would be really fun to have. Sure, a lot of us might want that. However, it's not a need. Needs are the things that we really need to survive. Food, shelter, clothing, transportation. Okay, these are things that you must have. So we got to understand the differences between those two so that when we get to work on our budget, you are prioritizing the needs above your wants. Now, let's talk a little bit about your income. You need to understand the difference between your gross pay and your net pay when you're doing your budget. So let's look at these terms. Your gross pay, think of that as the total amount of money that you have earned in a pay period. That's the whole pizza. The net pay is your gross pay minus taxes and any other deductions. It is literally the amount you actually receive in your paycheck, or actually the actual amount that's deposited into your bank account. So when people talk about how much money they make, they're probably talking about their gross pay. Like if somebody says I make $10 an hour, that's their gross. After taxes and stuff are taken out, they might be making more like $8 an hour. Okay, so that is the difference between gross and net pay. I'm going to stop right there for this particular topic.